1. 2, technically hold on her right here. She could have been head slamming me, and that's really 3 injuries deep. And so we'll talk about the common mistakes that people make when they're being choked, and we'll just demonstrate why they don't work and how they don't work. So the first one is when you get in choke like this, you start to panic, and the first thing you try and do is pull these hands off, and you can see it's going to be wasting a ton of energy. I feel like, yeah.
A lot of energy for no reason.
If you're much bigger and stronger than the person choking you, then you might have success. Most cases are a larger male choking a female, and this is kind of what we're based on this kind of concept. We'll let Cassie try it as well. Any luck?
Oh no.
Okay, so it's good to actually feel that and try things that don't work so that you can kind of train yourself to understand, like, no, that doesn't work. I'm not going to do that and waste my energy and time even doing that, right? Next one is the push away, right? So I'm here and she's going to try and push me away, right? And not going to work either. But that's just instinctual, right? Somebody's on you, you're trying to push them away, right? Okay, so we can see that that's not being very effective. All right, so we just played around. There's really like 1,001 different things that you could do, right? So Aditi, why don't you show maybe one thing that we explored that you felt that works, right? And we're just doing kind of one thing at a time. At the end, maybe we'll get to like a sequence of things that kind of create a form or technique, but for the most part, we just want to explore ideas of things and principles of things that work versus things that don't work, yeah? So the first thing we discovered was just taking the hands up makes it, and the timing too, she was kind of perfect timing on that one, so I didn't even get my full grip on and it was already off. And so now I'm gonna kind of pressure test this by she's gonna allow me to put the grip on nice and tight before she tries it. And that's just a way to pressure test it. So timing is critical with some things, right? The first one worked really well. On the second one, it didn't work as well. It's not to say that it's not gonna work. See if you can sink a little bit more and raise your hands up as you sink. Right, so that's one thing that can help is by lowering your center of gravity as you bring these hands up in this kind of triangle formation. Let's see if that works as well. Okay, so it worked a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay, so she's got a lot more power, right? So that worked. Let's pretend, because you got it to work, let's pretend you don't get it to work. What do you think you can do from there? So if I'm here, it's not working, right? I'm just coming in here.
Well, your face is right here, so I would just put my fingers right in your eye, and that way you have a bigger concern for choking me, because no one's gonna pick like losing their eye or like let me go.
Right. That was amazing, right? So that principle is just being able to kind of, when you realize that something isn't working, to change. You have to make a change, right? And so she just tried, and it's okay to maybe try it once or twice, right? But if you've done it 2 times, at the most 3 times, and it's not working, that's when you got to change and do something different, right? Yeah, you moved right out of it because that was another thing that we practiced. We'll get back to that maybe in a second. Very nice. Here. Okay, so that works pretty good. Right. I noticed on both of these, especially when Cassie did it, the upward one, right, when you come in here, boom, and the downward one as well. Notice on both of them, I've lost my good form, right? I'm no longer standing in a good flight posture. I'm kind of like out here hanging like this, which creates these openings, right? My hips are back, which means my head is exposed, like for those eye gouges and things like that can take place next. So I think that was one of the main principles we learned, is that once you do one of these things, we haven't noticed that they create an injury, but we have noticed that they create an opening for a follow-up attack. In this case, to create an injury, right? The rule of thumb is you want to go 3 injuries deep if it's a self-defense situation and you're in fear for your life or your safety. So let's explore that. Each injury will create an opening for another injury. So let's see how that looks. You can pick it up or down. 1, 2.
So it's supposed to be a face push and then a groin kick and then a possible another push to knock him down.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit slower and we kind of work through it. So here's this. Boom, I lost my balance. So you go.
Groin kick. Just gonna knock it down.
Nice. Okay. Let me demonstrate that one with you, Daniel. Can you hold that?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. And in this case, I've got 4 injuries. Well, this one's not real an injury, so we'll just count that as three injuries, right? So this is, one more time, this is 1, not an injury, right? Now I create an injury because I've done an eye jab, right? He's going to be a little bit further away, which will set this up. I've got a nice little injury right there, and the side of his head is over here is exposed, so I'm just going to walk right through with this. Hit right there. All right, DT's turn. All right, so DT, she, when we were playing around with this, she came up with a really cool variation, attacking the ear, so I'll have her show you that. However you want. All right. Yeah, so from here, she goes down. Oh, okay, so let's talk about that. That was really effective. Just the first part itself, right? When she went in here, my grip just almost disappeared. I was still hanging on with my fingertips, but my thumbs were nowhere near being able to reach her anymore. And interestingly enough, that when she's in this position, she can, even though she feels like she's away, right? She reaches out, she can still reach my ears, even though I'm kind of taller than she is, right? You hit me right in the ears, just double hand slaps to the ears. If you do this correctly, you kind of cup your hands, you're able to send compressed ear right into the eardrums, which will break the eardrums. So that's one injury. Let's go 3 injuries deep. All right, so you've got, this is an escape, first injury. Now she's just grabbing my ears.
Twisting, it's kind of like I'm going this way with this hand and then that way with that hand, so it kind of like doesn't roll.
Yeah,
roll with his head.
She's kind of squeezing my ears with her fingers like this, and then twisting it like this. So it takes a little bit of skill to learn how to do that, but when you do it right, it doesn't feel very good. So that's 2. And stop to the throat. Now, you gotta also make choices, right? She stopped to my trachea. So that means I need a tracheotomy, otherwise I'm gonna die, right? So you need to realize that, like, do I want to kill this person? So let's say you don't want to kill me. You've created some good injuries, right, which I probably deserve, but maybe you don't deserve to die, or maybe you don't even want to kill me, even if I deserve it, right? So let's assume you don't want to kill me. And it's important to know these things, right? Just like we practice what doesn't work, we need to know how to kill people, but we need to know what kills people so we can avoid that if we don't want to make that choice, right? We don't want to do stuff on accident. That's no fun, right? 1, 2, technically, hold on her. Right here, she could have been head slamming me, and that's really 3 injuries deep, right? We'll assume that was just 2, but I felt like with that force, that could have been 3 injuries right there. Fair enough, right? So let's say I didn't get hurt, and I'm a little stunned, but I might start to be getting up. Okay. All right, so she did a pretty good stomp right to the solar plexus. That was very effective. Feel right in the solar plexus. All right, right, I think that's enough for tonight. A lot of stuff to play with there, guys. So have fun, keep on training, and be safe.